And now to our first conversation, where we see PMS prices are up again, and motorists have confirmed pump price of PMS currently at about 640 naira per litre in Abuja and about 617 naira per litre in Lagos. Seeing PMS prices skyrocket after the Tinubu government ended subsidy payments on PMS importation. Let's talk to Mr. Olumide Adeosun, now chairman of Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria. Moment, joining me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Laddie. A pleasure to be on your show this morning.
Great to have you, Mr. Adeosun. I don't know if I can ever fill my tank up again with these new prices. How much of this change in petrol price is connected to change in global oil prices and the FX unification policy?
Laddie, I'm really hoping that by the time we get into a more stable framework, you will be able to fill your tank.
I hope
quite
so.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
But the real issue we have is not for people that have cars. It's really around getting Nigerians who do not have access to these sort of luxuries to still be able to survive in this economy. A large part of the costs really are attributable to two things. Well, two major ones. One is the international price, the international benchmark price for petrol, FOB Rotterdam, which has been fairly stable over the last 2 months. But the big component that we're seeing that's really impacting the cost, which is translating into the Nigerian pump price, is really the FX rate. We have seen that number go from about 630 at the point at which this new administration took over, and when the unification of the FX rates happened, to about 830, 835 today, which is a 200 naira increase, and that is seriously translating adversely, dare I say, into the price of petrol.
And definitely, it's quite sad, having to burn this expensive petrol to actually power your houses at this time. It's like a double whammy, right now. Can we expect, prices to, stabilize anytime soon?
Yeah, so it's interesting you say stabilize. So a couple of things have happened that allowed us to actually get to price discovery. You'll recall that at the point at which the subsidy was announced, and a few days after that, we started seeing prices of about 488 in Lagos for at the pumps. What happened there was that we had to make some assumptions around how the market leader NNPC arrived at those prices. What has happened in the last 2 days, really fairly thanks in part to the good work that the authority has done in terms of really opening up the market to allow players such as Prudent Energy and Services Limited take on the risk at their own cost of bringing product into the country so that we fully test the deregulation. Well, what that allowed us to do is that it allowed us to actually discover the true price of PMS, which is that it's really more of a 500 number than the 488 that had been the norm across the largest player in the market. Which then leads to some issues that we need to kind of address around how we communicate with Nigerians in terms of managing their expectations around this deregulation process, which, as you know, it's not a big bang event, but it's rather something that we have to manage over the course of time.
And, for the first time since subsidy was removed, all marketers in Nigeria have begun the first shipment. And you did, mention that. But looking at the situation now, how is that, going to help, going forward?
What has happened now is that we are slowly seeing a shift from a sole importer into one where Nigerian companies are able to go out there, use their credit limits, their wherewithal to import products. Again, like I said, 3 companies have successfully done that today, as advised by the authority. Prudent Energy and Services Limited, I think Emadeb, and I also believe Shafa have also done the same thing. What that means is that we're going to start to see more flow into the country. With more flow means that we'll start to see some competitive pricing at the pumps, which surely benefits Nigerians. And that's really what we wanted to do. To really have this happen in a transparent and open way, we need to make sure that every party at the table, NNPCL included, are playing from a level position, which means that one does not have unfair access to any of the triggers, either access to Platts price, which is out of our control, or to FX, which is potentially within our control, so that what the consumers are able to get is the best possible price based on healthy competition and an abundance of product. And it's not just a PMS story, an abundance of PMS, but also one of the bad side effects of this impact is that people now have choices, auto gas, EVs, and these are options that are being explored properly. But whatever we do, we need to make sure that there is a concerted effort by government, federal, state, to really do their bit in terms of trying to make sure that the people who are neediest get the right sort of support. So transport subsidy at the point of need, making sure that their states are sufficiently resourced so that people do not feel like they have to leave their home state to go to Lagos, Abuja, or Port Harcourt to seek their fortune. We are very much an agro-processing zone. We are very rich in other resources other than oil, and it's really important that people are able to feel like there's more to life than PMS, and that we can also expect some wealth. Expect to make a living by other sources as well.
And now that marketers can import PMS, is there any risk to the quality of PMS coming into the country? Any risk at all?
Yes, I mean, I think that risk is always there where you have hydrocarbons that are dependent on specifications. I mean, we had a methanol incident just over a year ago when we had a single importer of product. That will always be a clear and present risk. And again, that presents an opportunity for the authority to really exert their authority around regulating quality. Now, from an operator's point of view, there is no value or no merit in providing substandard fuel, because people will mark your stations and they will not come back. They'll vote with their tires and their wheels if you provide poor quality products. So on the one hand, we have regulations to provide it, and on the other hand, we also have the operators making sure that they are providing the best quality products to consumers. But the risk remains there nonetheless. And it's the quality of enforcement and sanction that will really be the active deterrent in that particular area.
And with Dangote's refinery coming online soon, is there any chance that will reduce or impact in PMS importation into the country?
Every refinery project that produces PMS or even diesel really allows us to domesticate the production of this process, and that can only be good for the economy because it means that we're not spending FX. I think when the Dangote Refinery comes on stream, we still don't have full line of sight to it, but we've heard some encouraging news. We will probably go through another price discovery process, but it's absolutely critical that people's expectations are managed and we don't overpromise on what the Dangote Refinery or anything else will do in terms of the price of product at the pumps. It's absolutely important because given where we are today, the international market will drive the prices up, but it also drive the prices down. And for operators to stay competitive, they will have to make sure that their pricing moves with the tide and provides the best possible value to customers.
Right. I'm definitely looking forward to price discovery to the downside at some point, hopefully. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Olumide Adeosun, Chairman, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much for it.